Everybody, welcome back. It's not just country, putting it down. We're about to bring another spoken word artist to the stage. Give it up for Logik.
Good evening, everyone. I'm short. All right, so in the news this week, the CDC finally admitted that the AIDS epidemic is worse than they said it was. Now, this is something that researchers have been saying for the longest, but you know the government don't ever want to tell you all the truth all at once. So it's kind of funny. The more we research this thing, the more confusing it becomes, because it's kind of a biological issue and a sociological issue. So, right, there we go. So I'm not used to prefacing pieces, but we'll just go ahead and start this piece off. It really doesn't have a name. AIDS. AIDS is the most devastating disease known to mankind. Yet it's a funny thing how something so devastating has become intricately intertwined into something that we all love to do. Screw. See, it's twisted and contorted our emotions to the point that we no longer recognize them. See, they become chess pieces upon game boards, and now we toy with them. And see, of these emotions, our love is always getting mistaken with our lust. And this is an unfortunate fact that has left the majority of us with that indelible sense of gullibility. Our hearts are worn on sleeves and get raked up like leaves, and now I am just praying. I'm just praying that everyone in this room right now is feeling me. Can y'all feel me? All right. Now, even though you strive to do right in the middle of the night, you say whatever it takes to get those drawers off, but you can't call that shit love, because if it is what you said it was, then you would have been so willing to leave the moment you got your rocks off. The very act of fornication without the desires of procreation is what leads us into these recreations that are ending our lives. And in the process, we've abused our women, the mothers of our creation, in our practice of procreation. Listen to that shit. Practice of procreation. As if somehow in the past we had it wrong and now we're trying to work at getting it right. And because of this kind of backwards logic, the majority of men all over the world are now considered trite. So first, I want to let it be known that the man speaking to you right now is full grown. And not 1 ounce of child has been left in me since I left my mother's home. But I know that I'm not all alone. See, there's more good men out there. This is just one of them facts that isn't well known. So good people of the earth, I need you to slow down. Take your time first. How in the hell do you go companion hunting without knowing your own self-worth? That's how the majority of us end up getting hurt. We so quick to hook up and then we fuck up, and in the end we don't know our own self-worth. But see, these mistakes in the past are a tool, so I'm just advising you to use it. Because what is a past mistake but to the present a gift? And it's the responsibility of those out there that call themselves wise to use that to educate others and uplift. But if the wise neglect to fulfill this right, then neither the wise nor the ignorant are going to live long enough to make it through these dark tunnels and see the end where there's some light. And in this fight that has gone on for far too long, we can take some sense and pride in realizing that all is not lost, but it's still far from being won. And in the struggle that is over 25 years long, I'm still scared as hell at realizing it is only now that we have just begun. Because let's just face it, people still gonna have sex for fun. And some people gonna have sex for funds, but in the long run, we both fucked in the end because we lie too much. See, we lie to each other while we lie with each other. We've lied to the point that we no longer know what the truth is. But the truth is, this is as much an epidemic of biological origins as it is a pandemic of social decomposition. See, the reason that AIDS is perpetuated this long is that the two sides ain't really communicating. Either side is waiting for the other one to make the first move, but if history is to be our example, we will never be able to rely on governments to make do. So if anybody wants to try to spark this here revolution, then maybe it's going to have to start with me. Or perhaps we need to stop looking at other folks, and maybe it needs to start with you. Thank you. Alright, I'm a conversationalist poet. So I just like to talk in and out of pieces, so I apologize for like the ranting that I may do in the process of doing this, even though I know I got like 10 minutes. But one of my favorite speeches was by Martin Luther King. And it's not because it was like a profound message. it was because the idea that he was trying to get across, and not everybody really got it. Like, the man had vision, period. You know what I'm saying? To say something like, I have a dream that one day the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down at the table of brotherhood. That's deep. I have a dream that one day this country will live out its creed that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Now, Dr. King is no longer with us, and that's a tragedy. But the life of the dream is never going to be limited by that of the dreamer, and this is why I take pride in holding tight to this here dream. But it seems that we've all forgotten that dreams must constantly fight to overcome reality. And our reality is somewhere between the truth or the lie that racism done gone away. But racism ain't going nowhere. It simply now wears its disguise because we still got black folk getting victimized and brutalized by black hole mortgages and hurricanes named Katrina. And then in the end, they get screwed over by FEMA. So that's big business, Mother Nature, and the government. So I think the beast has been on its mission. And the problem is that we have all been misleading ourselves into Crayola-colored denominations, hyphenated stakes to a nation in which our presence went from necessity to novelty. And now our existence persists upon the borders of citizen and resident alien. We can't afford to get on boats with Garvey and then give praises to Martin at the same time. Because this right here is our fight. And you see, it doesn't take no team of political analysts to tell me that the shit that's been going on couldn't have been no accident. You see, it's been repeating itself for so long that it's starting to sound redundant. And this is why I believe that it was seen in Martin's dreams that we was always going to have some hard times ahead. But it looks like since the Civil Rights Act and affirmative action, we done got a little bit too bougie instead to make revolutions anymore. We have more problems than we got solutions. We can't feed the huddled masses, yet we still got billions for war. Maybe we done got everything that we've been fighting for, that Douglas, Randolph King, and Shabazz lived their lives for. I'm talking about justice, equality, and a little bit of peace. But of all of those, I swear to you, we have not seen the least. Instead, we've gotten empty legislators that gets overwritten by special interest policies, fiscally advantageous projects that keeps us locked up in projects. And I'm telling you, the experiment is far from done yet. So we're still lacking our justice. We're still searching for peace. And there is no equality when 13% of our population is 44% of its prisons. And over 50% of those same folks are contracting immunodeficiencies. See, the disparity in American life is what punctuates this. The No Child Left Behind Act is what perpetuates this. So Mr. Bush, if wars are necessary in order to maintain this peace, then maybe we need to actually fight against that shit. So I'm going to get up on poetic pulpits and I'm going to spit this shit in the hopes that I can find it. Better yet, let's rewind it. I'm going to spit this shit in the hopes that we can all find that peace. And once we do, we must bind it, inscribe our names upon it, and then make it our own, because that peace that's taken for granted, it can soon be gone. See, we have got to move on, and we have got to get strong, because we are the children of ancestors that sweat blood with broken backs that built this nation. And they were always looking forward toward a future that would be full of the hope that our present should have brought us. But we have squandered that gift. You see, we've been too busy leaning and rocking it. No one is at home raising our children. And it's at that point the system wins. And we will all be done in if we don't learn to. Folks, I'm talking about yearn to. Change all of our mental